This is Iowa's Green New Deal.
I actually begged my parents to leave Iowa. Floods were wiping away neighborhoods and farms. Our water was poisoned, and we were facing economic and environmental crises that were massive. Scientists said we only had a decade to stop the climate crisis. We needed to transform every aspect of our society, but most people weren't fighting the root cause, corporate greed. Some even shifted the blame to immigrant families like mine. But my mom wouldn't leave. Her favorite place in the whole world was our home in Ames, Iowa. We did have the most beautiful garden in town, and my mom was proud. The Green New Deal is what inspired me to move back to Iowa. Human beings had changed the climate. I had to do my part to change the future.
Leaving was never an option. I was home. Back in the dark ages, a couple of corporations ruled the land. Farmers had to grow nothing but cheap corn, non-stop. We had to compete with farmers all over the world, like one big ag kingdom. Most of Iowa's corn got fed to pigs and factories. People were starving on our own streets, and we were busy feeding pigs for China. It was an unnatural way of life. This decade of the Green New Deal started with a huge farm bill. Farmers were guaranteed a fair price for their crop, just like workers got a fair wage. I could finally afford to grow fresh food for my own town and still make a living.
Duran, how the hell did you end up farming? You're a poet, man. Times have changed. We own our seeds, our food, our land. That's power.
Uncle Sam helped me pass 40 acres of my land onto a new generation of farmers. Women, people of color, immigrants. We brought more farmers onto the land.
That land is a free space for first-time farmers to experiment and learn things, to grow.
Bingo!
I learned a lot from elder farmers like Barb. Don't believe the hype. All this time we were only divided by a thread.
We sell our own fruits and veggies at our own grocery stores. Kids are eating my sweet potatoes in the cafeteria every day. Now, how sweet is that?
The solutions were there. My people had been doing green jobs on this land for centuries, so we built new schools and started teaching Iowa its history. A history of the Iowan indigenous people, our art, and the work we've done for centuries before the corporate big agriculture era. The kinds of community level work that the Green New Deal will bring back.
When I quit my job, there were a million jobs waiting for me because of the federal jobs guarantee. I ended up working for the Civilian Conservation Corps because it paid well. I stole carbon from the air and planted it in the soil. Life grew out. The prairie grass soaks up heavy rain like a sponge, and I grew it. My little body stopped giant floods. We grew a flower out of concrete.
Climate change displaced a lot of people around the country. We had to make our tables bigger. There's plenty of work to do, plenty of food to share. I like inviting the whole neighborhood over on Sunday. Our whole town feels like home.
I'm gonna say what I need. If it's the last thing I do, I do, I do, I do.
We couldn't prevent every flood. A big one in 2025 erased a lot of hard work, and a lot of people in industry and government did everything they could to slow us down. There had been even darker days in the days before the Green New Deal. But now, once we started winning, the corporate kings got even more ruthless. They worked the loopholes to steal more land, they lobbied against Medicare for all, and filled our hospitals with paperwork. Exxon kept on drilling. Change wasn't happening fast enough.
A decade ago, we lived in the wildest imaginations of just a few billionaires. All of our hard work was all just to make their dreams come true. We always held the power to build a freer world together. We just needed a plan of our own.
I use my art to document Iowa's history, good and bad, while also providing care to the elderly. I've found my purpose, and I never imagined I could have a job that feels so meaningful. Farmers like Larry drove their tractors to D.C. to protest the farm crisis. His story is so important.
It was a period of great conflict then. We were up against the forces of dog-eat-dog capitalism. Workers went on strike, farmers refused to plant, and students took to the streets.
The people prevailed, and we transformed our country with wisdom from our elders.
In Iowa today, we have high-speed rail bringing people into Iowa from all directions.
Back in the day, some folks called the Green New Deal impossible. Some said Iowa was in decline. But that's why you stay in a place, to see it grow.
I'm gonna say what I need. If it's the last thing I do, I do.